You're so nervous.
Ah,
She's like, you can see me.
yes.
Hi, Dusty. All right. Well, let's get started. You want to take a cleansing breath first?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to take a cleansing breath
Sorry.
together. So, do
Let
what?
me get comfortable.
Get
I'm
comfy.
sitting on
Turn the volume down. Okay. You ready? All right. Deep breath in. Hold. And slowly exhale. Let's do that again. One more. All right. You feeling a little better?
Yes.
A little more settled, a little more settled. Your energy's not so chaotic now. I feel a little bit more from you. All right. So do you have someone you're hoping to connect with right away off the bat, or you want me just
My
to
dad.
the open dad? Okay, I had a feeling there was somebody intense you wanted to connect to.
Yeah.
We've talked to dad before, right? Briefly?
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah. Oh, we have a lot. Okay. I'll try to remember all these different connections. I remember his coming through for you. What are you needing to hear from dad today? You have a specific situation, something that's already on your heart. I'm seeing a replay of something. What's happened?
Yeah. There's still a lot of things. See, this is that thing. Just I'm so lost. Like I keep pushing and I keep covering things up, like making sure everybody else is okay. I just need like guidance.
Yeah. So he's saying the same thing that I feel like that came through in cards for you at one point about withdrawing your vitality, right? You're overextending yourself. You're taking care of everyone else and not you. You're putting yourself on the back burner, and in that case you're actually getting burnt. You're thinking you're keeping the fire off of you by putting yourself on the back burner, but in all reality that's where everything gets burnt, because it gets left back there and gets forgotten. And you've been so apt to take care of everyone else and worry about everyone else's feelings and everyone else's emotions in these situations, and you're not taking care of your own. You're having a hard time even looking at yourself in the mirror, in the screen right now, because it's hard to even see into yourself and to see that pain. You want to avoid it so much. And so he's saying, like, it's time for you to go in, baby. It's time for you to go in and do this healing. You've tried to avoid it for so long. And there's a specific situation in your childhood that's been playing out in your memory over the last few weeks even, and it's kind of like on replay. You know which one I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so he's showing me a couple of instances, but there's a specific situation when you're about 6 years old that he's saying has been on replay. And I don't know if this is replay within your thoughts or if this is replay within your dreams. But over the last 3 weeks, this situation has been brought up and it's been a trigger for you. And he's saying that it's time for you to go deep within those emotions that you felt, because that's where you learned to shut down. This situation that happened when you tried to speak up, you were silenced, and that's when you learned to shut down.
I don't remember. There was a lot with my family, but I don't remember.
Were you being abused at that time? And did you speak up to someone at that time? Were you ignored?
I can't even pick one.
Too much, too many. Okay. It's in that vulnerability It's in that place of being willing to go back and revisit those moments where your healing and where your breakthrough is going to come. And I just felt like I'm supposed to share this with you because this just happened to me yesterday. Okay. This just happened to me yesterday. And this was very healing for me. And it was something that I never realized until yesterday. And I feel like you need to hear it. Okay. You remember I've talked about those times where I had to go in and process the abuse of when I was a child, right?
Yeah.
And I've had to process the times when I was abused as an adult in all these different situations. And I feel like I'm supposed to share this with you because this is what has happened with you. You've done a lot of healing work. You've done a lot of intentionality, and you feel like you've processed a lot of those childhood wounds, but there's still so many that haven't been addressed, right? Because you feel like it's overwhelming, it's inundating, there's a lot. And so you think, is that just good enough? Am I close enough? Am I good enough that I can just move on and be done with this healing once and for all? And I understand that feeling and I understand that logic. I'm there. I've been there. I am there. I'm over it. I don't want to keep feeling these things. And every time this stuff bubbles up, it feels overwhelming, right? But the key is what I was shown in my session yesterday, when I had my Reiki session yesterday, I literally I was in my living room, which I didn't want to be set up in my living room for this anyway. I wanted to be in my room because this is my comfort space. Like I have all my incense, I have my crystals. It's my safe space. It's my zone, nobody comes in here without being invited or being welcomed. So it's a safe place, which my house is that way too. But my living room feels open. It feels vulnerable. It feels vast, right? And when I was in my living room during my Reiki session, I have my eyes closed. They have a eye mask, a weighted eye mask on. There's no way for me to see anything. And in this moment, I'm removed from my body and I see this living room. And it's my living room. I'm seeing like as though I'm looking over my head and I'm looking down at my feet. I can see me laying on the table. I can see my shelving. I can see my blinds and my curtains. I can see everything there. And I'm confused and kind of freaked out because I'm in this room and now I can see this room. What is this? And from there, I was then transitioned into a beautiful living room that looked like the living room of my dreams, what I would have if I had no issue and could have an interior designer and had this big fancy house, right? And I thought, well, this is really pretty, but what is this? I don't know what this is. What am I looking at? And this is like the living room of my dreams, right? And so then it transitioned and it went to the living room of my childhood home, where I've processed the abuse that happened in the bedroom, but I had not processed everything that happened in that living room. I hadn't dealt with the trauma and all of the craziness and everything that was still left in that house, in that hallway leading down to that room. And so even though you may feel that you've processed certain things to a certain degree and you feel like you've had these breakthroughs and these things where it's like, I've overcome this and I'm able to move forward, but then you feel held back and you're like, why am I in this place again? It's because you didn't deal with the living room. You dealt with this small segment and there's still this over here that needs to be dealt with. And we can't just stuff it and just avoid it and act like it didn't happen. And we can't just move on and act like I dealt with that enough. 3/4 of it's enough. No. And when I went back, remember I told you whenever I processed it the first time, it was like when I shut the door, that room disintegrated. It was gone, right? This time I'm here and I'm like, but there's no one here because I've already processed all of these things. But I saw all of those events that still happened in that space, the beatings, the gun being held to my head, the phone being ripped out of the wall, all of those things. I saw that and it flashed, right? Real fast. And I saw me sitting over in the corner and I realized I left part of me there. So while I entered and healed that one aspect of what happened. I didn't integrate and heal the full aspect of everything that happened in that house. So Spirit's saying it's time for you to go inward and go to the depths, go to the other rooms in the house. And when you do, it's not going to be as hard as it was the first time because you've already dealt with so much in that space. But there's still just those final touches where you just got to get those final things and say, you know what, let's just deal with this once and for all. And when you do, and you go scoop you up and you leave that place, it's going to be just like mine was. The house literally exploded, just gone, vanished. It can no longer affect me in that way. So I still feel that you're carrying burdens that are still tied to these things that you've partially processed. And that's the guidance that Dad has for you. Dad says it's time to go in and do the full clean out. It's time to do the full clean out. You did a partial. You did like an emergency, let me just clean this up, but it's time for the deep clean. And when you do that, you're going to experience so much freedom and so much breakthrough. And like the weights are going to be lifted off of you. This burden, this heaviness that you feel right now is going to be lifted off of you. You're not going to walk around feeling less than or feeling held back anymore. But I also feel the need to tell you that you are not responsible for other people's emotions. You are not responsible for other people's healing. You are not responsible for other people's reactions and responses to your boundaries that you set in place. You did what was right for you in the moment to heal what needed to be healed. Those boundaries were meant to be in place. And it's not your fault and your burden to carry someone else's emotional response to your healthy response. It's not on you. You are carrying someone else's emotions right now. They are not even yours. What you're feeling right now is not your emotion. And you need to learn to distinguish, delineate between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to come through you learning more about yourself and going inward and doing more, spending more time with yourself. Because the more you know yourself, the more you can recognize and eliminate what is not of you. Because as a empath, as someone who carries other people's feelings, you do that in a healthy way. You can do that to transmute, but in an unhealthy way, you absorb.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of transmuting, you're just taking it from them and then carrying it on yourself. And you carry the weight of other people's emotions a lot, and that's not on you. It's not on you. So let go of that. You need to feel it and say, okay, what I'm feeling right now, do I feel this because of something within me? Is this something I'm truly feeling? Or is this something else that I'm picking up on? And you need to disconnect. I feel strong. Did you ever do your cord cutting ceremony?
No, not yet.
Uh-huh. 2 minutes
I'm
left.
trying to set up the whole room and like I just feel like I need to clean the room, cleanse
No,
it.
you need to stop that. That's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
That's an excuse. You need to do that cord cutting ceremony. And I'm going to tell you that the reason why I was told to add that to the packages last month was because you ordered it. That was not planned. That was not part of what was supposed to
I
be.
feel like it was too. Honestly, it was weird. Baby got hers. She showed me, and I was like, "Oh." But for some reason, it kept telling me it was because
It was for you. I literally, when I sat down and I meditated and I prayed over what to put in there, and I already had everything lined out. And I literally, for you, was told, you need to go get the cord cutting tools. You need to send this to her because you wouldn't do it on your own. And you're still struggling to do it because you know the shift that's going to take place.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know I'm a good person, but I know as soon as I do all the shadow work and stuff, I'm gonna be what looked at as mean, but like I'm gonna be so real with myself. I'm not ready. Like I don't want to get too happy with it
Oh,
because
so
I'm
you just want to stay in this energy? You just really
no,
like this?
no, and that's why I want to do it. Like
Yeah.
my heart's telling me to do it, but my mind is like
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. It's comfortable,
Yeah.
but I know I
It
need to.
is. And that's natural. And I did a smart ass response because you know me. Like
Yeah,
that's me right here, right?
this
But
for too.
but what I want you to understand is that you just spoke that truth about the situation. You know that you need to do it. You're concerned about how other people are going to perceive you, but that's not what it's about. That's the whole point in you getting these cord cuttings done, is so that you disconnect from other people's emotions, so that you disconnect from what other people think and feel about you, and that does not matter to you. And it's not you being mean, it's you setting boundaries. And if people cannot respect that, if they have a problem with it, it's because they're used to taking advantage of you and they know they will no longer be able to do that. That's not on you.
Yeah.
You do want to be happy. And I understand it's so like it's that toxic trait of wanting to
Care
make,
too much too.
because it's just what you know. It's status quo. It's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. I don't have to expand anything. I don't have to grow. I already know I'm used to it. I know what to do when shit hits the fan, right? But
Mhm.
it's time for you to go to a new level. And that new level requires you to cut people, places, and things that no longer serve you. And you
Yeah.
avoiding it and making every excuse in the book. The only thing that needs clearing and making room is your heart. And that's going to happen as you set your intention and you just do it. That's funny. The other day I did one again the other day. And when I pulled it out, I literally heard, you need to check on Tina Marie. She hasn't done it. I did that 2 days ago. This is the first live I could come back on. Okay. It was meant for you. It was divinely guided. Yeah, a lot of other people got a benefit of that, but I sent it for you.
And I've been crying for signs, and it's literally already in my room.
You can do it. You're brave enough. You're strong enough. And gosh darn it, people like you.
No, I'm fucking amazing. I'm fucking unicorn, man.
You are. You are. And you need to realize that value. You need to realize that worth, and you need to believe that. You really, truly need to believe that. So you need to set some time aside. I feel like you're one that needs to prepare. So if you need to prepare your heart and mind to do this, set your intention that I'm going to get this done by Sunday night. You know, if that's what you need, I'm going to get this done, whatever, within the next 7 days, whatever you need, but don't keep putting it off. I want you to make a commitment. Yeah, you know, I'm fixing to ask you. So when do you commit? When do you commit to having it done by? So we can check in accountability.
I want to say Sunday night or Monday. No, I want to start Monday morning.
Okay.
I want to
So,
do it Monday.
so Monday Night Live, we check in. Okay. Monday Night Live, we check in. I want to know how it goes. And if you feel the move to do it before then, follow that. Okay. Follow your peace. Don't get yourself overworked about it. Don't overanalyze. Don't overthink. Go back and watch your video again. Remember, listen to the instructions. Remember how you're supposed to process through, how you allow it to go through.
Oh, and it was because my reading was 2 parts too. That's how I felt like that's what cutting with all my cards too.
I was
The
so
numbers
frustrated with that too. I didn't know why it did.
and yeah, it was
Just like,
literally right on the mark before you said my cards meanings. It's crazy.
yeah. Yep, I ran out of space. That was so frustrating. I was like, what the hell happened? Like, I have a brand new freaking iPhone on it.
And you were just talking about record your kids.
Yeah.
And it was all the videos too on your phone.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah. Synchronicities. All right, sister, you got this. You can do it. It's going to be good.
Thank you.
Trust me, it feels so much better on the other side. Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll see you back in the live, okay?
Okay.